Hey, BraveHearts. So welcome to the Doc of Detox show. And what we're going to be doing today, it's called Real People, Real Healing. Okay? And understand something. You're never going to have a real healing unless you take massive personal action. Did you get that? Massive personal action is the only way we're going to heal. You know, we're all under the illusion that we can just sit around and wait until we break down, and then we're just going to go to emergency care or we're going to go get treated. Well, understand something. If you want to be emergency 911 for the rest of your life, then that's great. If you want your body to rot out, that's great. If you want to get stents, if you want to get rods, if you want to get a hip replacement, if you want to get mesh, if you want to be put on painkillers because you're in so much pain, meanwhile, pain is just a GPS, you go right ahead and do it. I'm not going to say a word. You know, this is your body. This is your life. But understand, for those people that understand that they've been sucker punched, that's why I'm here. We are going to be doing what we call Real People, Real Healing. And we're going to be doing this, and I hope to do at least 4 or 5 a week. These will be going into the Real People, Real Healing Guide in the library. And we'll actually put these live videos in there so that you can see what I've had to say to other people that are suffering from the same conditions that you're suffering from. But understand something, nobody has to suffer from these conditions. You know, disease is actually something that we have to work really hard to get. Did you hear what I said? You got to work really hard to get it, okay? And everything is about alignment. Everything is about harmony, and everything is about balance. But none of that's going to happen until you unconditionally love yourself. And I can tell you, you can fight with me until the cows come home. But the reality is the sicker you are, the more that you do not realize that you are running subconscious programs of dislike and even hate for yourself. You heard what I said. Take a look at how you talk to yourself. Take a look at the choices that you make. And understand, if you're not going to become conscious of these choices, then you are going to be unconscious for the rest of your life. And you may end up that way, okay? So I'm going to let Charles come on, and Charles is going to tell you what's going on with him. And Charles might be getting a hip replacement. Now, that will be his choice now. After this show, it will be his choice. Now, no matter how close he thinks he is to getting that, even if he's already booked for the hip replacement, he can reverse it. Before I bring him on, let me just say this. I've been in practice now for 40 years. 40 years I've had a clinic, okay? When I was 28 years old, I came up with Wolf Non-Surgical, and we've been offering a money-back guarantee since then that you're not going to go to hip surgery. You're not going to go to spine surgery, knee surgery, okay? You don't have to cut that fibroid out. We can actually get rid of it. It's made out of scar tissue. It's made out of calcium. And it was created by inflammation, which was created by infection. And it was infection on an emotional and physical level. And guess what? Yeah, but Dr. Wolf, my diet is even better than anybody in my family. Yeah, but guess what? It's not even close to what it needs to be. So if you think that if you think you've got good bowel movements compared to your family, if you think you've got a good diet compared to your family, you probably do, but not good enough to have a vibrant, healthy body. Let me tell you something. We eat so much garbage, okay? And it's garbage in, but not always garbage out. And understand that. And the reality is that the mentality, okay, of what most people think, drink and eat is so low vibrational, but because everyone's doing it, we don't question it. So understand this. If you are even bone on bone in your hips, bone on bone in your knee, or you say you're bone on bone in your spine, okay, that the cartilage is gone, the disc is gone, it's not true. And whether you believe it or not, even if you had only 10% of the cartilage left, your body can grow it back. That's right. Your body can grow back bone. It can grow back tissue. It can grow back your organs. What are you willing to do? And are you willing to stick out? Are you willing to be outstanding? Are you willing to stand out? Are you willing to do something completely different than everyone else? Let me tell you, I was on the phone with a lady today, and we were talking, and it's her daughter. And her daughter didn't go for chemo, but she was taking chemo orally, okay? So now, that was 3 years ago, and now the cancer's back. I said, look, What do you think that you can take chemo? I said, now let me explain something. And I'm not off track. We're going to get to Charles in a second. But I told her, you know what? Cancer's like a cockroach. You can go in there and spray that cockroach with poison, and you are going to get rid of them for a while. But those cockroaches are going to be back. Cockroaches have been around for millions of years. And understand, you can go and spray that cancer with chemo, and you're going to destroy the immune system, and you're going to suppress the cancer, and it's going to whip you back in the face within 3 to 5 years. You think I'm wrong? Then why is it that when people get chemo, only 3.2% of the people that got chemo are even alive after 5 years? Those aren't very good odds, are they? So the reality is you can go and get your hip replaced, your knee replaced. You can put it in as many parts as you want. You may not have pain in that area anymore, but it's going to be stiff. And guess what? You're going to tear out. And remember something, surgery causes more scar tissue, more inflammation in the body than anything else, and more displaced calcium. You hear me? You can't trauma your cells without putting them into total inflammation and then pulling calcium out of your body and creating tons of scar tissue and having a physical block. Now, understand this. Charles has a problem with his hip because it's calcium and it's scar tissue. And if we can get the calcium back into the bones and we can bring the scar tissue back into beautiful connective tissue, which I know we can, but the reality is that you've got to be able to want to take that massive personal action that I was talking about. Charles, how you doing?
Am I on?
You're on.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
You need to speak louder into the...
Dr. Wolf, you're exactly right in everything you said.
I need you to... 1 second, Charles. I need you to speak louder, would you?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Not very well.
I don't know why not. I'm right on top of the mic.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Are you okay now?
We're okay. Are you okay?
I'm good.
Good.
Okay. To whoever's listening, I had a hip surgery scheduled for June 1st. It's against everything I believe in. As a young man in the early 80s, I found Dr. Udo Erasmus and read his book, Facts That Heal, Facts That Kill. I learned quickly scar tissue creates more scar tissue. Then you have to take systemic enzymes to eat the fibrin to get the blood flow to the areas. And how I got injured was I went from doing lots of work, lots of movement, lots of steps every day. I sold my business and I laid on the couch watching Netflix.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, 1 second. Let's go back a little bit, okay? Okay, so what was your business?
I was in the sanitation business, trash business.
Okay, 1 second. Those of you that are posting here on Facebook, just know that when I finish here, I will go through and try to answer these questions, okay? Now, how long ago did you sell your business and you decided to dedicate yourself to Netflix?
I sold my business in 2015, and I decided at that time I would dedicate myself to Netflix. And within 4 short years, I wound up in the emergency room with sciatica because my core got weak and my muscles weren't being held. I wasn't centered, and I wound up with a ton of atrophy.
Okay, so everyone, atrophy means that you lose tone. And understand something. When you lose tone of your large intestine, you just lost your immune system. When your large intestine loses tone, it'll lay in the bottom of your pelvis like a dead snake. And what it will do is when you lose tone, it becomes a screen door in a submarine, and you start pooping in your pelvis until you fill up your pelvis with toxic waste. I hope you get this. Every woman, every man, prostate problems, bladder problems, endometriosis, infertility, bladder leakage, ovarian cysts, cancers, tumors, fibroids, okay, impotence. Should I keep going? But anyways, that pelvic, we call it the pelvic bowl, your pelvis, because it looks like a bowl. You are pooping into that, pooping in the pelvis. And guess what? That infection will build up. Infection creates inflammation. Inflammation creates scar tissue formation. And then you start pulling the calcium from the bones because you need to buffer down the cells, because if the cells become too acidic, then they mutate, and we call that cancer. And that would be stage 1, 2, 3, 4 inflammation. That's what cancer is. And it's inflammation. Now, what happens is that calcium goes into the cells and it calcifies the mitochondria. Your mitochondria, they spin 2,500 times per second. In somebody that has a chronic illness, they spin around 300 to 500 times per second. Now you're not making enough ATP. And when you don't make the ATP, what happens is you have what you call your sodium-potassium pump in a cell. It takes ATP and it pumps it out into the extracellular fluid. That creates, believe it or not, a lightning bolt, which creates a new cell. So when your mitochondria, which are the powerhouse of every cell, become calcified, they cannot spin. And then also when they become toxic, you lose the oxygen, you lose the nutrients, and your cell says, I don't want to die. So now it lives off of what? Fermentation. And trust me, you are fermenting. You are rotting out. And then it's looking for the sugars, because when he was watching Netflix, he was eating refined carbs. He was eating products that have sugar in them. And guess what? He was actually, his cells said, okay, we're converting into, and we're mutating because he's not giving us enough oxygen, enough nutrition. There's so much infection. It's creating inflammation, which is causing scar tissue formation down in his pelvis and calcification. So what happens then, that will actually, that infection and inflammation spreads out to the hips. Don't believe me. Why don't you just go back 20 years ago and you're going to find out something that, guess what? Nobody knows this, but hip surgeries have gone up 40 times. 40 times! For every one 20 years ago, we have 40 people. So that means if we have 100 this week that are signing up for hip surgery, that means that we don't have 100. You can go 40 times that. We have 4,000. That's why you're waiting 1 year, 2 year. You know, hip surgeries, see, nobody does their research and goes back and takes a look. You know, for one thing, the first actual tumor that doctors saw was back in around 1984. Okay? Wait, no. 18, I think it was 1884. Thank you. 1884. Now you think about that. They called doctors from all over to see this. They said, you'll never see this again. And they saw this massive tumor. They called them from like over 100 miles away. Now understand, all you have to do is just go next door to your neighbor, because there's somebody in their family they're growing tumors. There's somebody in their family that's booked for hip surgery, for knee surgery, for spinal surgery. How many people know that, guess what? Charles's hip, he's going to replace that, let's say, but he's not going in and bringing the tone back to that dead snake called his large intestine that's sitting in the bottom of his pelvis rotting out. It's rotting out. If you could smell and see Charles' bowel movements, they look nothing like being healthy. And understand, your large intestine is 85% of your immune system. That's right. Your good bacteria that are supposed to be 85% good to 15% bad. If we took a look at anybody who's getting hip surgery, knee surgery, if we look at somebody who's getting hip surgery, or anybody that has any type of dis-ease within their pelvis, we know that 85% of the bacteria are bad instead of good, and the good bacteria only about 15%. So understand this, you're on your way out. And understand this, take a look at anybody, okay? Anybody, they're either overweight and their gut is sticking out, and it could look 3 months to 9 months pregnant, whether man or woman. And if they're underweight, okay, they'll still have a gut and they won't have a core. So your core is from your ribs down to your pelvis. And 85% of all your energy is created and stored in your core, but only if your core is not on the floor. If you have no tone, then you have no core. If you have no core, you have no immune system. So you better get that. So the reality is this, if you want to work out, if you're over the age of 40, you better be focusing on just core exercises. Like I went swimming today and everything was based on my core. Okay. And when I do pelvic squats, everybody here, and Charles, you too, you need to go to the do-it-yourself guide in my library and watch the pelvic squats, how to do the 3 pelvic squats, how to do the crab stretch. And if you did those in the morning, those at night, those are the most amazing exercise that everybody needs to do. Because understand, part of the reason why we lost our core is, guess what? Most of you, and I mean most of you out there, not all of you, 90% of your diet is based on not fake, okay? So you're not even eating real food, eating junk food. You're eating things that are rotting you out, and you need to get that. You're rotting out. I mean, you will not ever smell my armpits. My armpits never stink. My groin does not stink, okay? Now, if I eat something today, and that something is not real food, I will have a stinky fart within 40 minutes. And guess what? You can say, oh my God, you're rotting. And no, my body is so awake, okay? And it's going, well, Daryl, that's what you get. You get a backfire, okay? All right? You get a backfire. And that's because you're on fire. So if I eat garbage, my farts smell. But my armpits aren't going to smell. My bowel movements aren't going to smell bad from one time. And understand, if you're a person that has bad breath, then you're already on your way out. If you have chronic bad breath, that means that you are rotting out in your core, in your floor. Your large intestine is rotting out. And because guess what? You can't have bad breath and you can't have gum disease unless you have bum disease. And nobody gets that. I mean, a dentist isn't going to tell you that you get gum disease because you have bum disease. They don't even know that. You don't even understand that you have plaque on your teeth because of the waste that is rising from the hot air. Because guess what? Hot air rises, doesn't it? Take a look at a hot air balloon. And that is the bottom line, is that we just don't understand. So what's happening to Charles is, he said it. He knows it. He knows it's the truth. He knows that because...
I'm going to be off for a few minutes.
What?
I got to take a call.
What?
I have to be off for a few minutes. I got to take a call.
Charles, how long?
I'll be back on in 15, 20 minutes.
Charles, we probably won't be on. We'll have to do this another day. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, so Charles is booked for hip surgery, and I told him that I'd do a consultation. Meanwhile, Charles is going to go take a call. And I mean, he can watch this, but the reality is I was going to build him a protocol, okay, at what he needs to do. Now understand something, everyone. The most important thing that I could ever do would cost you no money. And that would be if I could actually get you to believe that you are beautiful, that you should love yourself completely, that you should be at a point where you never have to forgive yourself again. Never. I'm telling you, if you make a mistake, all you need to do is observe and learn. Don't judge and burn. If we were to dig in, which we will, we'll dig into Charles's history, and we will do Charles again. You know, here's the deal. Now, if I were to say, oh my God, Charles just disrespected me. I was going to do this for him. He didn't have to pay for this. My time is valuable. I don't do that stuff. I want you to think about all the times that you count on people. And when they let you down, do you react and attack yourself and them, or just yourself? And it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be attacking them or yourself. If you've got, the thing is that you can't count on hardly anybody. And that's the God's truth. If a person can't count on themselves, all right, they can't give what they're not. If a person doesn't love themselves, can they actually give love? No. They will love you because you can't live without love. But when they get what they need, where are they? How many mothers, how many fathers, how many children feel like they're not being loved today? How many people feel like they're not being loved today because you can't count on another to love you? You've got to love yourself totally, because understand, and we're not even talking about making people feel bad because I give you all this love, but you don't give it back to me. I'm telling you about the frustration that's caused. Look, you can believe me or not believe me, but I'm going to tell you, most religion is toxic, okay? Most religions are toxic. And I'm going to tell you this, because they create guilt. And they also tell you that if you were to totally love yourself, that would be so selfish you should go to hell. Well, I'm not going to focus on that. But understand, psychology is so important. You have to understand that your thoughts create your health. What do you think about yourself right now? From 1 to 10, how much do you believe that you love yourself? And understand this. Let me ask you a question. Your heart, okay, your heart is the recorder of all your love affairs, all your emotions. Now, I want you to understand something right now. Let's take a look at this. Let's take some time. So, percentage-wise, how much is your wife or your husband fill up your heart? How much does your children fill up your heart? Your children fill up the most, or your dog or your cat, okay? Or, or your husband, or, you know what? Depending on how much you allow someone and make somebody responsible to fill up your heart. See, heart disease is the main killer. And you know what? And it is. My heart is broken. My heart is in pieces. My heart is empty. She hurt me, okay? She broke my heart. He broke my heart. You know what? My kids don't appreciate me. My husband doesn't appreciate me. My wife doesn't appreciate me. Let me tell you something right now. You need to know this, that you are a spirit being. If you want to make it down here, I got to tell you guys something. I haven't even begun to have fun. I have not even begun to create amazing things. I'm going to be creating so many amazing things because I know that I'm unlimited with my potential, and I am not going to make anybody or anything responsible for blocking me or stopping me from having what I want. I will love myself unconditionally and totally. My partner Lori's right here. Right, Lori? Hi, and we have a great relationship because she loves herself totally. I love myself totally. We don't fight. I'm not saying that we never ever have. When I get tired, sometimes I get a little bit grumpy, but guess what? I don't go to blame her. I pull myself back. I connect to my breath, put a slight smile on, because when things don't go your way, you make everyone pay that you made responsible to love you. That's the deal. Now, when you have a hip problem, okay, that means that you can't carry the weight, and you're also off balance. All right. Now think about this. Charles had to go make this phone call, so something came up more important. Now, yesterday he was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much for this. I can't wait for this." See, so the reality is it's all a test. So I could be upset with Charles, but why should I? I'm gonna bring Charles back on, and I'm gonna fulfill my promise. You have to understand that you cannot, okay, make people feel guilty, because that's not going to change them. Oh my God, I love him so much, I'm going to change him. No, you're not, okay? And don't think you can change people by making people feel guilty. My first major relationship, it was all based on guilt. Okay, it was all based on that. We got to stop this, and we're going to stop it now. And I got to tell you something right now. I will show love and consideration to every human being on here, but there is absolutely no system or person that I'm scared of. You need to get there. You need to practice your courage. You need to practice your bravery. What would I do if he left me? What would I do if she left me? Oh my God, when you kids go to school, I get so stressed out. And we are taught that if we don't worry, things are going to go wrong, that we need to be on our guard. This is the same crap that they pull, okay, with telling us that we've got to go to war with our neighbors and other countries. This is the crap they pull. There's nothing going on in the world. There's nothing going on wrong. They make it up. These psychos, they know that we don't use our heads, that we don't think. They make all this crap up. They create all these wars. They're poisoning all the food, all the water. It's the craziest thing, right? I'll tell you, there was a time when I felt really guilty about if I didn't recycle. What are we, like, crazy? Do you actually think that all the poisoning and all the garbage is from the majority of the population? They tell us, they go, you know what, human beings are really stupid. Human beings have poisoned the earth. No, they haven't. Corporations have. And guess who has? The elite behind the corporations. Okay, they're poisoning the planet, and then they blame it on the majority of the population. They try to make us feel guilty. And this whole climate change thing, this whole recycling thing. You know what? Stop it. Don't put guilt on anyone. And understand something. You know, I lived in a town, Kelowna, and guess what? The recycling is like madness. And then I find out that it's all going to the dump anyways. It's all just one big game. You know, the whole reality is this. No government official, no psycho rich person, or no anything that's got to do with government will ever make me feel guilty about anything. You know what? If you love and care for yourself and you feed yourself right, you drink yourself right, you think yourself right, what kind of damage am I doing? I'm not doing any damage, okay? And I'll tell you something right now. They're not after me. Oh, yes, they are. They've been attacking me, like the Canadian government and has been using this TV station and actually hiring journalists to talk about how dangerous I am. Yeah, I'm pretty dangerous. Yeah, if they think I'm dangerous, you wait until you see what I'm going to be pulling off in the next 6 months. It'll be dangerous, all right. I am going to have unconditional love for every one of my brothers and sisters, and I'm going to make sure that we deliver the most powerful information, the least expensive, and I am going to honor and respect everyone out there. Even if somebody doesn't honor and respect me, I am going to do my best to love them back, because that's how we win. And do you know how you win on this planet? By feeding and treating yourself with total love and respect and making healthy choices. You know what? You are always going to eat garbage as long as you don't love yourself, because you will eat garbage because that person may give you their approval or their love. And, you know, we can't live without love. So you will just eat anything, drink anything. You'll do anything for it. You'll pretend that you're someone else to get someone in the sack. You'll pretend that you're someone else because you don't want to be alone. Well, you'll never be alone if you learn how to love and protect and respect yourself. You know, it's called me, myself, and I. And it's called my spirit. When you feed your spirit, you don't get sick. I'm not telling you I don't get tired. And you know what? I'm trying to pull off some really big projects right now. And sometimes I drive myself nuts and Lori, you know. But thank God she's such a beautiful woman with a beautiful spirit. And she understands what I'm trying to do. And she helps to keep me grounded. But, you know, I just want to roar. Why do you think I picked the lion? Why do you think I picked the BraveHeart? Because guess what? I just want to come from under my tree and protect all my brothers and sisters. And everybody's my brother and sister, even those people who do not like me, those people who do not care for me, because understand we're all going back to the same place. And understand this, and you can get this. Medical system doesn't know what they're even talking about. They're bloody well dangerous. And the reality is we are light energy, electrical, magnetic beings. And whatever you have, whether it's a sinus problem, I can't see properly, I can't hear properly, or I've got a knee problem, I got a hip problem, it's all emotional. It's all an emotional problem first, and then it becomes a physical problem. Look at every time that you start downing yourself or getting pissed off at the world or pissed off at someone or anything, do you eat right? Do you think right? No, you dump adrenaline, cortisol, and histamine into your body, and you burn yourself out. You torture yourself. I am never going to torture myself again. I don't care what people think about me. I can't. Most people aren't thinking. Are you going to tell me that most people think? Are you going to tell me that most people are logical, for God's sakes? Let me tell you something. I love my life. I really do. I love my life. I love my children. And I'm really working on trying to love everyone. You know, I had this business relationship with someone, and it just crumbled. You know, when you have a business relationship with somebody and they come from a place of there's not enough, I need to take shortcuts, you know, I'm in survival mode, it can be really dangerous. And I'm lovingly letting that person go. I have to. I don't want to fight. I don't want to do anything. I'm lovingly letting them go. I want to create a team that are so passionate about their purpose and that they're coming into it with complete love for the project first. Money can't come first, but the reality is that the money is energy that we use to create wonderful and beautiful things. You know, like I created the library. It's free. Go in there. We are working on it. We're making it the most powerful healing place that you can go for yourself. But you know, you're so addicted, okay, to not loving yourself, okay, or that you need to have bubble gum for your mind, like Netflix, like him. Did you hear what he said? All right. So for the last 4 or 5 years, what did he do? Okay, he sat on the couch after he sold his business, and guess what? Here's the reality. If he didn't have his if he wouldn't have had his business, he'd been in trouble earlier. He's never loved himself. If a person sold a sanitation business, probably got a lot of money for it. Trust me, a lot of money. So the reality is, what I would have done is look for the adventure of a lifetime. You know, like here I am. You know, we've got this large clinic in Mexico, and understand, very successful. But money's not what it's all about. It isn't. And I said, you know what, honey, let's go and do a world tour. Let's go and start spreading unconditional love. And let's see if we can get a lot of people involved in BraveHeart Nation, wanting to take the whole life coach course so they can crack their coconut open, to even give it a shot to love yourself. You know, you can tell me what you want. And it's okay. And I observe, and you're going to think that I judge, but I don't. You know, the psychologists, the psychiatrists, and most of the people that say they're whole life coaches, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're not a whole life coach until you have the courage to stand up and to stand out and to totally unconditionally love and care for yourself. That's it. That's the deal. That's the deal. Don't tell me this stuff. You know, that doesn't come out of a book. And I'm going to tell you something. People say to me, well, Dr. Wolf, can I come and take your whole life coach? Because I've always wanted to be a practitioner. I wanted to do nutritional consultations, emotional ones. I want to build programs for people, or I want to take your body work and be a body work person. I'd like to go all the way and get a doctorate of natural medicine. Do you want to know what? I don't care if you decided you wanted to quit school at grade 6. It'd be great if you could read. It'd be great if you could do some writing. But I don't really care, because your passion and purpose is going to be the most important thing to me. And if you have a desire to want to go all the way with me, I am going to take you. I am not impressed about credentials or diplomas. You will never see one diploma hanging up on the wall in my office. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't be proud of yourself when you go to do things. Yes, that's great. But the reality is where I'm going, I need to stay humble. I don't want to be putting that in people's face, because understand, everything that I do, anybody can do it. You heard what I said. Anybody can do what I do. Anyone. And I know it. I'm not making this up. And you can even do it better than me. And I'm telling you the truth. My son, Sage, you know what? He will be better than me. Dr. Sage Wolf will be better than me, because I'm going to give him what I have, and then he's going to take it and he's going to do better. And I want his son to do better and his daughter to do better. And you know what? You need to know this, that you can be better than me. You can do better in everything that I give you. Look at, the only reason why you can't is you've already topped out. Tell me that when you went to school that they gave you empowering beliefs. Tell me they did. Tell me they did. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. By the time you got out of school, you didn't know how to feed yourself. You didn't know how to feed another. You didn't know how to love yourself, so you couldn't love another, but you knew how to get your pants off. You didn't know how to welcome a new spirit in to your womb or into your partner's womb. That scared the living crap out of you. Okay, and guess what? You didn't know that constipation was the worst thing, and not eating a whole plant-based diet while you're pregnant. I mean, do you know how many women are dropping their babies? Do you know how many women, their uteruses are sticking out like a cuckoo clock? Do you know how many women that their pelvic girdle's rotting out? Do you know how many men are rotting out? Look at, I'm going to tell you something right now. This is a game. Okay, these cycles aren't going away. Now, whether you want to believe this or not, now you're going to go, okay, now I'm done with him. That which we call God has given us everything that we need. And that which we call God, I believe, I can make my own story. Okay, the creator of everything has said, we will let the cycles reign. We will let them have control of finances down here. And let's see if these people can actually understand what it's all about. To have unconditional love for yourself and Go for your dreams, go for your passion, go for your purpose. Don't let any family member, don't let anybody who thinks they're in authority tell you what to do. Something, okay? They did this on purpose. This whole COVID thing, okay, please. Are we crazy here? Okay, that was just a distraction, okay? So everybody ate worse, everybody drank worse, everybody did more prescription drugs, there's more suicides. And then people that supposedly needed surgery, which guess what? 99 out of 100 people do not need surgery. I hope you get that. You didn't need surgery. You were programmed that you needed surgery. Because if you could grow something that was going to kill you, don't you think that you could get rid of it when you become conscious and love yourself and drink right, eat right, think right? You know, when a doctor says to you, well, Mr. Smith, a person your age that has this type of disease, you've only got 6 months to live. What a bunch of BS. But it's true. They know what they're talking about because it's a statistic. Now, are you going to follow the herd? Are you going to be a statistic? Or are you going to go, well, guess what, doc? Guess what? I'm going to leave right now, loving and caring for myself. I'm going to clean out the cupboards. And guess what? I'm going to quit that job because I'm going to quit my job and find my passion and purpose. And guess what? Yeah, I don't have a lot of money, but I don't care. I don't care if I'm in big debt. I'll go and get 1 million Visa cards if I have to, and I'm going to heal myself naturally. And guess what? And then I'll just, what? Who cares? Who cares? It's all an illusion anyways. And I say that because the whole thing is rigged. You know, I'm on here and I tell people that they can come to Puerto Rico where I am, and guess what? And they can pay for a corporation and pay only 4% tax, and the government can't do anything. Isn't that something? And you know what? Most people go, oh, that's nice, Daryl. And then they'll just go back and be a slave and pay 20 to 40% in taxes. The first 6 months, they'll give it all to the government. And I just told them that all you had to do is fly to Puerto Rico. We'll help you. We'll take you to the bank. It'll take you like 3 hours. Yes, it'll cost you a few $1,000s, but now you'll pay no more than 4% tax. And people just go, they just don't do anything. They just go on their way. I'll tell you right now, 80% of the population, there's no helping them, but you don't stop. You go in with your heart, and you don't go in with expectations. You go in with your heart, and no matter what happens, and that's why you don't go, okay, this is the last time I'm going to do this for this person. Well, do it with your heart. It's a gift. If they don't accept it, they don't accept it. That happens all the time. You know that? Do things because you want to do things, not because you think you're going to get things. That's going to be really important going forward here. And I truly believe that you're going to have to emotionally prepare yourself. Okay? By the time we get closer to 2030, okay, there's going to be a lot of your friends leaving and a lot of your family members leaving. And I don't believe they're stopping it. You know, I have some friends that believe that everything's going to turn around. Well, I've been around for 67 years almost. And I have to tell you that you're going to have to really start practicing on loving and caring for yourself. Because if you totally love and care for yourself, maybe you will limit the suffering. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm not going to keep you guys here all day because I promised Lori that we would go walk on the beach. Okay? But do you ever notice that you get pissed off at the same things all the time? Did you ever notice that you have the same arguments with the ones you love and care for all the time? How insane are you? I'm insane, but I'm happily insane. And I definitely do not have to be right. I don't want to be right. I want to be happy. Okay? And everything I've said here, you don't have to believe in any of it. And don't get upset with me because your beliefs don't match mine. You know, we will actually kill people because our beliefs don't match each other's. You think about how low vibrational we are. We will actually not talk to somebody for the rest of their life because their beliefs don't match ours, you know? No. I've had some people in my life, family members, that no matter what they do, I love them anyway. And that doesn't mean I'm going to let people that are, you know, alcoholics and drug addicts come and live with me. That's not going to happen. This is my sanctuary. I love myself enough that I'm not going to feel guilty to allow poisonous people into my life. And those poisonous people can be my children. And I can say that they're poisoning themselves. When I was younger, I was poisoning myself. And all I can do is just love them unconditionally and not pretend that I know things, you know, and I don't. If they ask me for my help, or if I see them going to go over the edge of a cliff, I'd like to stop them, but I'm not going to interfere, because did you ever notice when you try to get involved too much, you take people off their track and then they just go back on it anyway? We can't really change people. All we can do is just be the light. And how do you do that? You love and care for yourself, and you show that it can be pulled off. And most of you are very loving and caring, but you're always going around telling people how they should live, what they should eat, what they should drink, and you shouldn't. We should keep our mouths shut. We should be internalizing all that energy, because the more that you love and care for yourself, the more light that you're going to shine. And people want that. People go to the light, not the darkness. Can't love if you don't love yourself and have some health. Well, that's it right there. I thought the rich knew how not to pay taxes. It's a common complaint. The rich don't pay. Well, actually, I don't consider myself rich. You know, my money has gone into this new app called Touch that we're going to be releasing to the world. And I'm hoping that that really makes people feel like they're worthy and loved. But the reality is that they don't. I just told you. Okay, Jacqui, I just told you. I'm not paying taxes. You know, I got two corporations. One corporation that brings it down to 4% in Puerto Rico if you do it right. I know how to do it now. And the second corporation is a nonprofit. So the 4% that I would have had to pay, I can pick the nonprofit that I like, which is I'm going to be using that 4% to actually put students who come out of school, high school, or other people that can't afford it, I'm going to give them my courses. So that's my nonprofit. So you see, and the reality is it's all been an illusion. I mean, you know, it doesn't matter what government you're talking about. There's potholes, and the schools were never there to teach. The Rockefellers write every book. If I want a book to go into a school, Rockefeller Printing is North America. Rothschild is Europe. And they go through and they will twist and dilute and turn and change. Do you know why people go to school for 12 years? Well, the Rockefellers did a study, and the study showed that it takes 12 years to make a robot. That's all. Okay, so understand that. Let me see. 80% of the population doesn't okay, all right. Well, some people are saying 80% of the population is going to leave. You know, I really don't like those. I believe in miracles. But the reality is I know that if you were to take a walk outside, you would see that people are ready to blow. I mean, you know, you can't have a 44-inch waist and not know that you're full of rotten waste and that you're not rotting out. I mean, you're going to have heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, and cancer if you live long enough. One of those, you're just going to blow up anyways. I mean, I got to tell you, if I were to go down there with a video down to the pool, okay, well, if you took a look back in the 70s, you take a look at the people, go take a look at the beach on the 70s, okay? There wasn't one person overweight there. Now you go and you can hardly find one person that's in good shape. And that's the deal. Just know this, guys. Guess what? 88% of the population is obesely overweight, okay? And when I say obesely overweight is because 10 pounds overweight, you're obese. but they changed that. Are you ready for this? They changed that back in the 80s to 40 pounds overweight just to make everybody comfortable. Insane plot and plan. Imagine if they put all the effort into good. Well, first of all, I'm just going to bounce something off you because I like to make up stuff. I've got an imagination. And here's what I believe. I believe that planet Earth will never change, but you can. I believe that planet Earth is actually a slave planet. And believe it or not, the government, the military, the police, they're all looking after keeping us enslaved. And that's the truth. And the reality is there is an evil entity on this planet, and it'll always be here. It'll always have the keys, okay? I don't believe there's anybody coming to save us. I believe that Jesus, okay, was unconditional love. And that's why Jesus was able to blow off of this planet, okay? And to be able to break through. Go take a look. It's called the Schumann's resonance. And believe it or not, there is an invisible bubble around this planet that causes us not to be able to get off this planet. I really believe that you have to bring your vibration up really high. That means you would have to unconditionally, totally love and care for yourself and vibrate really high. You know, I'm going to tell you right now that we know that this Earth, planet Earth, has actually, it's the 6th time that we're heading towards extinction. Now, when we say extinction, that doesn't mean everybody goes. That means a large percentage of the planet will leave. And guess what? So this is the 6th time. So guess what? It's the same old story. You know what? You know, it's like watching the same old movie over and over again. So here's the 6th extinction, and here's the harvest. So you've got an entity that lives off pain and suffering off of human beings. That entity would die if human beings would unconditionally love and care for themselves. But the reality is, because our brain is 90% subconscious, you can program anything into somebody and they're going to do it. And the reality is, if you don't understand that your brain is probably the dumbest organ in the body, and it's the dumbest organ in the body if you have dumb programs. And understand something. Remember when they said that Einstein had a bigger brain than everyone? Do you guys actually fall for this BS? Do you fall for this BS? It had nothing to do with that. So what has to do with intelligence is intelligent programs. And anybody that went to school, and the longer you go to school and the university, and the longer you go to school, the dumber you are. Seriously? I know people that only have a grade 6 education and they didn't go and get double V'd, okay? They actually don't talk like other people. So, you know, intelligence is not about getting schooling. It's about logic, and it's about knowing that you can put programs into your brain, but you have to be the programmer. The computer, okay, you know what a computer is? Well, it's something you buy and you've got to put programs into it and you got to plug it in to make it work. So whatever program you put into the computer, that's what you're going to get out of it. And the reality is 99.9% of the population did not put the programs in. Didn't you notice? Well, why are they eating themselves to death? Why are they drinking themselves to death? Okay. Why are they hating themselves to death? Okay. Why do people actually believe that there's diseases when there is no diseases? Why do people believe that they have to cut chunks of parts of their body out? Well, because that's they have stinking thinking, so they have parts of their body that are rotting out. I don't care. You can be rotting out in any part of your body, and the day that you wanted to embrace unconditional love and care for yourself, get on an advanced water fast, do the ultimate coffee enema. If you're a woman, do vaginal infusion, okay? And then get into doing juicing. And guess what? And it wouldn't hurt if you had a slight smile on your face, no matter if there's a bomb going off anywhere and everywhere, because there's always going to be war, because that's what it's all about. They dump drugs out into the street, they create wars, and then they tell all the men that if you want to become a hero, go sign up and go kill someone you don't even know. Oh my God, please. So the reality is it's not going to change. It's not going to change. So they have a program where they've got us to go to war with ourselves, go to war with our families, go to war with our neighbors, go to war with other countries, go to war with the government. Oh, wow, really? I don't need the government. I don't need them for anything. I need Mother Nature. I need planet Earth. I need Father Sun. I need air to breathe. I need water to drink. And guess what? And I need to know that I'm allowed to unconditionally love myself no matter what you think of me. And that's it. That's all. I don't need government. I don't need the medical system. I haven't been to a doctor for, I can't even remember how long. And the reality is people that love themselves unconditionally don't fall downstairs, don't get in car accidents, don't injure themselves. You know, you have to understand something. We're spirit beings. A person that's, I've been in 3 accidents this year. Wow, how's it going trying to kill yourself? And that's the God's truth. Yeah, but none of them were my fault. Yeah, but you can actually get yourself in front of another car. You can be there to kill yourself. That's right. You can throw yourself down the stairs and blame it on the shoe that was by the stairs. You need to understand something. There are no accidents. Okay? There are programs that we run. And everybody needs to look at your programs, and I'm looking at mine because guess what? I did it again. You know, every time I feel sorry for someone and I keep on pouring energy into someone and feeling sorry for them, it'll bite me on the butt. And I shouldn't do that. Okay, so now we all have things to learn, and I'm learning every day. But I have to make sure that I don't beat myself up. But what I need to do is not beat myself up and go and observe and learn and go, okay, Daryl, are you going to change the program? You're like almost 67 years old, and you keep on repeating this, okay? All right? I feel I have to be perfect all the time. This is Sarah. I have to learn to let go. Try every day to love myself, and it's really hard. I'm going to tell you something, Sarah. When you were younger, you did something, and your parents were so busy, and they didn't know how to love themselves or each other, and you did something, and they went, oh my God, Sarah, you're so brilliant. Oh, Sarah, you're so pretty. Oh, Sarah, you're so talented. And we all just crave love so bad. You know, when we first get here and we're born, we can spit and poo and yell and scream all night long, and our parents love us. As soon as we start to walk and talk like mommy and daddy, they don't even know that we are a part of them. And here they are punishing us. And all we are is this beautiful spirit mirror trying to enlighten our parents. But we're not even taught that. So what we do is we get punished for acting like our parents. When our parents should have said, who is that? Is that me or you? No, I think it's both of us. Okay, sweetie, mommy and daddy have taught you this. And guess what? We're going to change. We love you so much. Thank you for mimicking what we do. That's right. Daddy loves to have a tantrum every time mommy doesn't do something. So the reality is, you know, somebody said when you were younger, because you were so desperate for love, because they told us when we got here we were unconditional love. And then as we started to walk and talk, it became conditional love. And that's why by the time we're a teenager, we're out there looking for a lover, to get under the cover, to have someone get inside of us or to get inside someone else so that we can feel that deep love. That's why when you're a teenager and you fall in love for the first time, you think it isn't. You fell in love with yourself when you got here, but then that got kicked out of you. And then guess what? You know, your heart's exploding and now you're in love with this person, but you're not, because nobody can love you. What people can do is they can have a certain vibration or a frequency, and they're triggering the love that you have inside yourself. That's the secret. Oh my God. Well, if that person actually loved you and made you feel so good about yourself when you first met them, why doesn't it last for more than a year or two? And don't tell me that you're 10 years with this person and it's never changed, because that's a bunch of crap. You can't feel unconditional love unless you love yourself. Unconditional love does not come from another human being. And so don't try to lie to me, and don't try to lie to yourself, but go ahead and try. if you want. But I've been doing this, and I've got 25 years of psychology, and I'm telling you, after you've done thousands and thousands of emotional consultations, you know what? I know this stuff inside and out. I really do. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else I need to answer before we go? Let me see here. Life got easier when I stopped expecting from others, started focusing on myself and giving myself what I need. And when you start actually just loving yourself and caring for yourself, your family are going to go, you're selfish. You're selfish. Well, it's not their fault, and don't you blame them, because we all got together and created this program. And so now all of a sudden you're starting to actually care and love yourself. You know, they're like, whoa, what's that? Oh my God, you know. I can tell you right now, you've been in the relationship. You know what I'm talking about. As soon as you start doing something for yourself, hey, come on, don't do that. Tonight we got to go do this, or I'm going to order pizza, or no, we were going to go out and have a few drinks. It's not that somebody wants to throw you off track and doesn't want you to love yourself. It's that that person doesn't have enough love for themselves, and they don't know what real love is, and that they actually are feeling insecure. But it's not them feeling insecure, it's the subconscious. The subconscious mind will only run prominent, dominant thoughts. Now, if you have never, ever loved and cared for yourself, then that means that you're looking for that from everyone else. So if you got someone to buy into your BS, and let's say you come together and that person is now making you feel like you don't want to kill yourself, you want to love yourself, I want to live forever, they make me feel so good, and they start pulling away, guess what? The subconscious is it, not your heart. Your heart's not attacking them, but your subconscious will out of fear, okay? Because guess what? When you don't feel love, you feel like you're going to die, because love is like oxygen, and we need it, okay? All right, let's see. I have a hard time living myself. I'm so hard on myself. Well, Sarah, the reality is you're so hard on yourself because other people used to be hard on you, and it's just a program. They may not be around anymore, but guess what? It's a self-serve job. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. You're either going to become the family blessing by breaking away from family beliefs, or you'll remain the family curse and keep carrying things on. You do understand there are no genetic diseases. There's none. Absolutely none. They're all epigenetic. Yeah, but that's not true because my mother had breast cancer. Now I have breast cancer, and I think my daughter has something wrong with her. Well, that's how powerful your imagination is. Everything that I imagine with my heart, long enough and strong enough, comes to me. Understand that. And you better get it. That's not true. I don't get anything I want. I know that's because you're bitching and complaining about how tough life is and how nobody gives you a break and nobody cares for you and how, you know, you're broke and oh God, we're all programmed for poverty thinking. We're all programmed for poverty loving, because guess what? We don't think for ourselves, okay? And we don't love ourselves. And the reality is this. Did you ever notice somebody? You can get somebody that never finished school, somebody that's not good at anything else, but their family and their main belief is money's easy to make. Well, tell me they don't make money easy. They do. So everything is the belief. What if you just believed in yourself? What if you said, it's not selfish for me to want my passion, my purpose, and my dreams, and I'm going to work towards that, and I'm going to spend this much time. Now, if you never, ever went for your passion, purpose, and dreams, your husband, your wife, your children are going to be upset and have a tantrum for a while, because guess what? You were the rug that they wiped their feet off on, because guess what? You let them wipe their feet off on you, because that was how you got your attention and love, even though it was contaminated and toxic. So just know this. We can't live without love, but don't be so damn desperate. I would love to discuss gum disease, receded gums, and loss of tissue teeth. Okay, I'm going to tell you something right now. This is going to blow your mind. If you get, and this is not a sales pitch, so go buy some other product if you want. But we have what's called silver bullet gel, okay? And you put the silver bullet gel on the toothbrush. Then we have what's called healthy mouth essential oil. You put a couple drops on top of that. Then you sprinkle black gold, our black gold. And guys, you know all the humic fulvic in the world that people sell. We're the only ones that don't use chemicals to process it. We have the purest concentrated humic fulvic in the world, and I can prove that. You take the black gold, you sprinkle that on top of it. So we've got silver bullet gel, we've got healthy mouth essential oil, and then we got black gold, and we put that on top, and you brush your teeth. Oh my God, it's so powerful. And if you've got jaw problems or teeth problems, take a look at our Dentagen, okay? Dentagen will reverse your teeth problems. And if you've got really bad teeth problems or you've got a cavitation, it'll fill in if you use Merigen and Dentagen. And then if you use the concoction I said for brushing your teeth, it's the only thing I use. I've never had such beautiful gums, beautiful teeth, beautiful feeling. It's the best in the world. It really is. I'll get on here one day and I'll do mouth, ears, eyes, and throat. That'll end up being about an hour and a half, but I'll do them all together. When I go to, I'm going to be going to Barrie, Ontario. I leave there on Monday from Puerto Rico because I got it all done, guys. I got it all done. We're going to have a complete, easy system. You'll fly in. We'll pick you up at the airport. We'll take you to the bank. You'll sign up for your corporations, okay, or corporation. We'll take you back to the airport and you'll go home. It won't take more than a day and a half to do the whole trip here. So maybe 2.5 days with flying and everything. And then you don't have to let them steal your money anymore. Or you could if you want and not believe me. But the reality is I'm going to be going off to Barrie, Ontario, and we're going to be doing a New World Practitioner course. That's starting in 2 weeks. So if you want to come and become a whole life coach, or you want a certification, you want to be certified, or if you want to do a new Wolf non-surgical, or come for the 3-day pelvic course, women, how about unleashing the power to really bring your feminine back and to heal yourself? It's called the Holy Grail. Now, go to braveheartnation.com if you want to check that out, okay? Let me see here. Let me see if there's anything else. Dr. Wolf, my sister has Wagner disease, which has affected her eyes, now moved down into her airway. She is just about to start to have chemo. Chemo is mustard gas from the Second World War. Thank you very much. Type drug. But I truly believe she could benefit from reaching out to you and yourself. She could benefit if she believed that which we call God totally loves her unconditionally and has given her the power inside of herself to heal herself. And understand, we're gonna lose a lot of our brothers and sisters because they have programs that they're unworthy. I want you to really think about this, everyone. What are you worth? No, seriously, what are you worth? Your worth is only how much you love and care for yourself, not how much you're trying to get someone else to care for you. That's all you're worth. So you better get that right now, okay? And understand something. People would look at a person like me as being selfish. Well, that's fine. I'll be selfish enough to know how to look after this God-given temple. Thank you very much. And then you can, I just love how people tell me about faith and about faith in God and everything like this, and they don't know how to eat or treat themselves or another human being. Yeah, take your beliefs and put them where the light doesn't shine, okay? All right, everybody's my brother and sister. What do you recommend for tinnitus and anxiety? Well, first of all, anxiety is caused from watching the news, listening to BS, and telling yourself the same trauma story. Oh, you know what? Don't believe me? Okay. Take a look at the people that are the most traumatic, and the people that are the most stressed out, the people that have the most nervous system disorders in your family, and you're going to find out that they keep repeating the same damn story of why they got traumatized. Tell me that I'm wrong. Now, understand something. It's not called, it's called shell shock. And that's what we're doing. Like when somebody goes to war, they have shell shock. And that shell shock, they keep living that horror story over again. But you don't have to go to war. there's a war going on, even in most houses have a war going on, because if you don't have a family that knows how to love and care for itself, okay, they're always going to be attacking each other. I've been at this for a long time, and I'll say to somebody, so do you have a loving family? Well, yes, of course I do. Okay, and then once we get into it, we find out the family doesn't know how to love. That's it. But it's as good as it's going to get. What is your protocol for leukemia? Oh, wait, tinnitus? Just know this. If you go to my DIY guide, do-it-yourself guide, I've got the tinnitus in there. And tinnitus is where you have inflammation of a very small nerve that runs from the inner ear to the brain, and it's on fire. So understand, anxiety is the best way to get tinnitus. And tinnitus is caused from an acidic inflammatory environment, and we can turn it around. I would tell you that if you haven't gotten a consultation from one of my master consultants, it's only $150. If you don't think we're good enough, then just go and get your money back. Go get your money back. But with that, you're going to get a 400-page manual that I wrote, okay, along with some of my other colleagues. And this is a do-it-yourself guide, 400 pages. It's a PDF. This thing's worth $500 any day of the week. And we're going to give it to you. And this is a manual so you can become your own practitioner. That comes with every consultation. And every consultation we do an hour consult, and then we give you unlimited support. What do you think of that? That means even if your master practitioner who is looking after you leaves, I will answer your questions. And my other master consultants, you've got lifetime support, because health is actually a new language. You got to get that, okay? What is your recipe for vaginal infusion? Please go into my do-it-yourself guide. And just know this, that I don't care what age you are, women, if you do a vaginal infusion, you will absorb the nutrition from your vagina 500% to 1,000% better than taking it orally. You can heal breast cancer by doing a vaginal infusion. You heard what I just said. You think I don't know about health? I know about health. 40 years, even if I'm as dumb as a stump. You got to learn something. Let me see if there's anything else. Can't love if you don't know how to love yourself and have health. Yeah, that's right. If you don't know how, but you know what? You will say that you love someone, but believe it or not, we are actually loving other people. When we don't love ourselves, we are loving other people, because we can't live without love. And so we will take contaminated love because it's better than nothing, just like eating contaminated food. And you know it's not good for you, but you'll do it anyways because you want the approval of people. Isn't that crazy? Okay. Yes. Okay. Let me see here. My mom has diabetes, and also her eyes are just losing sight. I'm wondering what would be good for her. Well, let me see. Sabina, it's SABINEWRZW. If you want to give me a call tomorrow, my number is 469-861-94. No, 9. 469-861-9454. If you want, I can have your mother on if you want, and I'll go through a protocol, because I guarantee your diabetes is called adult onset diabetes, and it's not really diabetes. It's your mother ate too much sugar, too much flour products. And when you have diabetes, it's because you haven't had enough love in your life. So you go towards refined carbohydrates and sugar. And most women will never get enough love in their life because they were taught to suffer and be the caretakers for dysfunctional human beings. And that's the God's truth. Okay? By the time women are 40 or 50, they're empty shells. And I'll say, do you love yourself? And a woman will say yes. And it takes about 20 to 30 minutes of doing an emotional consultation. And she's either crying because and then she breaks down and she says, I've never loved myself. I don't even know what that is. I use organic coconut oil and swish in my mouth for 20 minutes and spit it out. That's really good, but guess what? It's tedious, and I don't do it, and you'll take too long to get there. So what I would suggest you do, it would be a lot more powerful if you took silver bullet gel. You took a couple drops of the healthy mouth, and then take the black gold humic fulvic and brush your teeth with that, it'll just shoot that right off the table. That is just so tedious, okay? All right, there's so much more that you can do more efficiently. Never spent one day in school. Thanks, Mom and Dad. You got it, Paul. Okay, all right, let's see if there's anything else here. Oh no, did that already. What would be the root cause of vertigo? Okay, anxiety, inflammation again. And you're going to say, well, he doesn't know much. Well, guess what? I know more than any other medical doctor. I'm ready to go online here anytime a medical doctor wants to come on here and challenge anything I've said here tonight. I mean that, and I'm not out to fight. This is not about fight. I'm saying this, if anybody wants to challenge me, they can. But the reality is there's only one illness. There's only one illness, and that's being out of harmony with yourself. And that will turn into inflammation. So every illness is inflammation. Every illness has inflammation. I mean, you know, and with that, you're going to get pain, stiffness, swelling, right? That's all you're going to get, and redness. And then if you don't look after the inflammation, you're going to draw the calcium out of the bones. You're going to create scar tissue. Now you got a physical block. And then that slows down your lymph flow, your blood flow. That stops the oxygen from getting into the cells. Okay, and then we get mutation. You do know this, that Dr. Otto Warburg received the Nobel Prize, only person to do it, for the discovery of why cancer occurs, and it's because of 35% deficit in oxygen in the cell. End of story, and that's all it is. So if you could understand live access removed, wow. Okay, so guess what? I must have said something on TikTok, and they just took me down because of something I said. Nasty. Okay, I hope they don't. Let's see here. Bear with me. This will only take a second. See if I can get back on. Okay, so I don't even know what the date is, but they have suspended my access on TikTok for something I said. All right. So anyways, we still have you guys left. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Okay. And I'm not sure what I could have said that they didn't like, but whatever that is. Dr. Wolf, I had a consult January 22nd. How do I retrieve the manual? Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to call the 800 number and extension 0. Tell them who you had the consultation with. And guess what? Believe it or not, we have a new Perfect Day manual. I spent 100 hours redoing the manual. We just finished it a few days ago. They'll resend the PDF. Anybody here that's had a consultation, you can call up, and let me see here. Let me see, how can I do this without driving my staff crazy? Well, you can call up. Just do me a favor and we're going to have a meeting tomorrow. So I'm going to tell everyone to have the link. And just give me till tomorrow afternoon. And we will set it up that it'll be efficient when you call in. Tomorrow's Friday. Anybody that's had a consult before, give me till Monday. I promise you'll go in. They will send you the link and you can have the brand new Perfect Day guide. Okay. This is going to blow your mind. I promise you. Read the whole thing, go through it, and if you've got questions, you can come on my Q&As, or you can give me a call if it's something important, okay? All right? Lori, TikTok banned us.
Why?
I don't know. I've never been banned on TikTok before. So that's a new one. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe talk too much about self-love. Maybe that's a law now. Okay, anemia. Well, first of all, just so you know, everyone, anemia, the main part about anemia is actually your good bacteria have gone bad. If you were to actually have a healthy bowel, you'll never have anemia. You won't. And understand, make sure that you're drinking lots of warm to hot, in between warm and hot structured water, because believe it or not, hydration has a big part of it. People don't get that. Okay, I know a lot of people that have anemia. They're just not getting enough either iron, or they're not getting enough oxygen. But guess what? Focus on your bowel, okay? And focus on hydrating more, and then tell me you have anemia, okay? So I could have sold you a product, but let's start off with doing things that aren't going to cost you, okay? All right? Anyways, everybody, we're going to go, right, Lori?
Yes.
Okay, are we out of here?
Yep.
Okay, we're out of here. I want to thank everybody for coming on. I will be on tomorrow. I don't know with who, but I'm going to do another health and healing, real people, real health. And I'll do one tomorrow, and I may do one on Saturday. I won't do one on Sunday. And then Monday, I fly to Barrie, Ontario, and I'll be doing about 3 different lectures in Barrie, Ontario. If you'd like to come to them, go to BraveHeartNation.com, and you can take a look at my lectures. Or, one second, call Course Shalou. Or, if you want, just if you're from Ontario and you'd like to come to the lectures, give me one second. You can call Shalou at 705-828-2257 to get your spot. And just so everybody knows, I'll be back in Kelowna, and I'm going to be doing a 3-hour session where I'm going to prove that you don't have to go to surgery. And if you come to that lecture, if you've got a frozen shoulder, carpal tunnel syndrome, you've got a knee problem, you've got a spine problem, I'll have myself and 2 other practitioners there, and we're going to prove to people that it's a scar tissue issue, that it's a displaced calcium issue, and that you're getting sucker punched, that you don't have to have anybody stab you. Okay, that'll be very rare. 1 out of 100 surgeries actually need to be done. We're like psycho. So why don't you just go back? I'd like you to go back about 80 years, and then I'd like you to take a look at how many surgeries and how many new surgeries are getting done, and then tell me we're not an inflammation nation. Tell me that we haven't been programmed to kill ourselves. Okay, can you write it down? What am I supposed to write down? My phone number is 469-861-9454. Don't call me tonight because I won't answer it. And tomorrow I have a meeting at Eastern Standard Time at 12:15. But I will take some calls in the morning and in the afternoon. And if you ever call me and you don't hear from me by the next day, just call me again. You're never going to upset me. That's it. You're never going to upset me. Okay? You never will. Okay? All right? Have a beautiful night. God bless. And but first, bless yourself. Bless yourself with unconditional love. Let's see the next time that you, oh my God, look at this. It's 3:15. I'm supposed to punch myself in the face. See if you can give yourself a kiss like this. 3, 2, 1. You got this, Bravehearts. God bless.